The biblical definition of a champion is one who has gone through the battles of life and has prevailed. Champions are people whose spiritual armor are blood-stained and battle-tested. They are people who have faced failures, defeats, and success in life struggles and are still standing in Christ. I think that description of a champion is the perfect microcosm to discuss one of the most complete fighters in a 130-pound division. Let's get into the conversation.
The greatest, the greatest, the greatest. I know what I'm talking about.
You think you're tough? Think you're tough, huh?
That's it. It's over.
You be alright. You tough, right?
Extremely focused, undeterred, right? Doesn't weather the storm, rather he navigates the storm, right? Power, ring generalship, dog mentality, incredible skill set, high level IQ. These are just a few terms that I use to discuss WBC 130 pounder O'Shaquie Icewater Foster. Texas, stand up. This is a homegrown champion. This is a champion that you need to get behind. Let me explain something to you. Mark Magsayo was supposed to take over as the next Pacquiao, right? He was supposed to be the next boxing star coming out of the Philippines. So, with that said, and he was doing really well. Mark Magsayo is a good fighter. I like him, right? I hope that his last loss, I believe, came at the hands of what's his name? Brandon Figueroa, right? Which was a great fight, but I knew he wasn't going to beat Figueroa. You know, styles make fights. But anyway, Mark Magsayo was being pushed heavy, right? And he was matched up against Ray Vargas, who actually is not known for power, but was expected to get knocked out. But he was a really high-level boxer, okay? He was a great boxer with a good skill set. He ended up outboxing Mark Magsayo and winning the championship. So, now Top Rank got to push Ray Vargas, which is still good, right? Because you know how Mexico get behind their fighters. Ray Vargas is a dog. He's a good fighter, right? A great skill set, nice ring IQ, right? He also has ring generalship, right? A large arsenal of weapons, right? And they matched him up against O'Shaquie Icewater Foster. Now, that was a good fight, right? That was a good fight because that was a chess match. And I felt like O'Shaquie Foster would pull it out, but I didn't think they would give it to him. I thought it was going to be a chess match based on both of their styles, and it was going to be a close fight that would go to decisions, and they were going to give it to Ray Vargas so they can push him. Because, you know, O'Shaquie flew under the radar for a long, long time because they wasn't really pushing him like that. Okay? So he had to get his the hard way. He had to get his out the mud. He had to elevate his game, right? Step up his fortitude, right? And he had to lean into his purpose. I can't imagine the amount of work that it took to turn his career around coming off of 2 losses. And he does have 2 losses, but let me explain to you, this man hasn't lost a fight in 7 years. O'Shaquie Foster is a dog at 130. He's one of the most entertaining fighters. Now, he has the total package. Pause. Right? Speed, power, footwork, right? And, you know, he figures out a way to win. That performance he put on with Ray Vargas, I was very impressed with. But I also knew because they did not want him to win. And that's why I always called O'Shaquie Foster in the video I did of him last time, which didn't do too much because you guys are not picking it up fast enough. Texas, where you at? You stood behind Errol Spence, rightfully so. Errol Spence is a dog. He deserves your support, right? But you now have a champion who is homegrown Texan. Shout out to Orange, Texas. Shout out to Houston, where he resides now. You understand? He been putting on for Texas, elevated his game, right? Coming through for Texas, won the belt. They tried to take it from him because of what he did to Ray Vargas, right? He found himself, he put himself in a position that they did not want him to be in. So they had him go to Mexico, right, to fight Rocky Hernandez, right, which was a good fight. Now, here's the thing about that fight, right? Dazin wanted to steal that belt from O'Shaquie Foster. Dazin tried to do that. If you go back and you look at the fight with O'Shaquie Foster and Rocky Hernandez, I understood the game plan of O'Shaquie Foster very early because, you know, Rocky Hernandez is a dog. I think he got like 31 fights or something like that. Hold on a second. 31 fights with 31, well, 30 something fights with like 31 knockouts when he went into that fight with, hold on. Yeah, he has 34 fights and 31 knockouts. Now, who he knocked out, I get that, right? I get if you would say that. But, man, you can't deny his power. And he's known for being very durable and being able to change the course, the direction of a fight with a punch and come out with the victory. Very entertaining fighter to watch. So this is no shade to Rocky Hernandez. He was part of the reason why him and O'Shaquie Foster got round of the year for that 11th round, or was it the 10th round? I think it was the 11th round, right? But if you ask me, that fight was set up for O'Shaquie Foster to lose. The ring size was for, as you can see, very small, right? Because Rocky Hernandez is not really a fleet-footed fighter, right? So they tried to cut off O'Shaquie Foster's legs. If you would have looked at that fight, if you go back and look at the highlights to O'Shaquie Foster versus Hernandez and listen to the commentary, they were lying the whole way through it. They were talking about O'Shaquie Foster looked uncomfortable, right? They wasn't really calling out his work. Every time Rocky Hernandez cut the ring off, because Rocky Hernandez was doing good catching up to O'Shaquie Foster, cutting off that ring, right? It was small enough for him to do it, right? But every time O'Shaquie Foster went to tie up, to slow down the work of Rocky Hernandez, the referee will come and break it up, right? So O'Shaquie Foster had to beat Mexico, because it was a purely Rocky Hernandez crowd. It was pure Rocky. Even though he was the champion, it was a Rocky Hernandez crowd. It was a Rocky Hernandez commentary. You understand? Everything that Rocky did, they whoa. They even said at certain points in the fight that Rocky Hernandez was making O'Shaquie Foster uncomfortable. Never one time in this whole fight did he look uncomfortable until it was the 11th round. And he still won that round. Right? Now, Rocky Hernandez was getting outboxed. Going forward, lack of defense, running straight into punches. But because he was coming forward with high volume of punches, they were giving him these rounds. Now, I knew that he wasn't winning these rounds, but I could tell from the commentary in the crowd what was about to happen. So when that 11th round came, what O'Shaquie Foster was trying to do was wait for Rocky Hernandez, right, to tire out a little bit so he can get some of that steam off the punches. And just to show you how hard Rocky Hernandez punches, he was dead tired in the 11th round. He barely had any energy left. And he was still able to connect and hurt O'Shaquie Foster in the 11th round. So you can never count Rocky Hernandez out until it's over. But I felt like it was such an insult that this man was the champion and decided to go ahead and give them the things that they wanted to make this fight. That's how confident he was in himself. And so I said at the 12th round, even though I felt that he was winning the fight, if he don't knock Rocky Hernandez out, which I felt he could do, because Rocky Hernandez, to be honest with you, they could have stopped that fight in the 11th round. I mean, he literally stopped fighting, put his hands down, and turned his back and walked away. from O'Shaquie Foster. If the roles were reversed, they would have called the fight right then and there. O'Shaquie Foster was putting a beating on him, and they didn't stop the fight. The 12th round came, O'Shaquie Foster was getting demolished. Literally, he was connecting with some good punch, but he was getting hurt in that ring. The ref was going to try to let him stick it out. But that 37th second came, and he was taking so much punishment, the ref had no choice but to stop the fight at 30 seconds in the 12th round with 30 seconds left. The commentation went crazy. The crowd went crazy, right? Rocky Hernandez's coaches jumped in the ring to yell at the referee because they were so upset. And shout out to Rocky Hernandez, because in the 10th round, they were telling Rocky Hernandez just run around because Rocky had nothing left. They were saying, look, forget about just box, don't fight, run around. Rocky said, nah, he knew he had nothing left and he was more than likely going to get stopped. He knew that. And he said, nah, I'm going out on my shell. Salute to Rocky Hernandez, a real dog. Right? I'm glad they still got him ranked up there. He put on he's a good fighter. I like Rocky, right? But when it came to that O'Shaquie Foster fight, I wasn't mad at him. I was mad at how they were trying to rob O'Shaquie Foster. Because to be honest with you, Top Rank didn't want him to be a champion, and Dazin didn't want him to be the champion. And I'm just being honest from my perspective, right? And so now the thing I like about he found a way to pull off that victory. And the thing that I love about O'Shaquie Foster, right? O'Shaquie Foster is the champ. They said they offered him 3 fights, if y'all saw the press conference yesterday. And he chose Abraham Nova. You dig? Shout out to Puerto Rico, the Bolicuas, Puerto Rico. Hey, a Puerto Rico. Ho. Teofimo Lopez said, I ain't got no fighters. I say Abraham Nova is a dog. Now check this out. O'Shaquie Foster tried to get the Abraham Nova fight already, but Abraham Nova and his team were on a diva-ish, right? But this is what I like about O'Shaquie Foster, because that's a hard fight. That was the hardest fight out of the 3 options. He's a champion. And he asked for that smoke before. When he wasn't a champion, they didn't give him the opportunity, just like Devin Haney with Lomachenko. So when he put himself in position, he could have just forgot about Abraham Nova and kept it moving, but no. You understand? Not when you fulfilling the biblical definition of a champion, because you understand. O'Shaquie Foster understands that what God has for you, no man can take away. It don't matter how much they try to interfere and throw a monkey wrench in this, they can delay it. Yeah, sure, they can delay it. But in doing so, they give you more time to prepare, or they give the person more time to prepare. In this case, you understand, O'Shaquie Foster fitting that description to a T, pulling out victories that he's not supposed to be pulling out, but they understand how dangerous he is now. So the thing is this. They're going to try to make his road as hard as possible, but here's the thing that I like about O'Shaquie Foster. He like this. Y'all ain't got to make it hard for me. I tell you what, I'll make it hard for myself and still do what you don't want me to do. Huh? Texas, where you at? Homegrown, warrior spirit, heart, dog, spiritual. Give his props to the Most High and everything. Gives God the he puts on he delivers the greatness and gives God the glory. You can't do better than that, right? Abraham Nova is a dog. This is going to be a good fight. Now, I think this is a more of a 50-50 fight than we think. But I think O'Shaquie Foster is going to pull it out because I personally think he has a higher IQ and more power than Abraham Nova. But I'm not taking nothing from Abraham Nova. But here's the thing. Abraham Nova lost to Robsy Ramirez by knockout. But then he got beat up by Espinoza. Right? So now they have no choice but to put O'Shaquie Foster in a position that he should be in. Texas, stand up. Puerto Rico, stand up. This is going to be a good-ass fight tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. We got Abraham Nova, right? I'm going to get on my blue blood for a minute. 72-inch arm reach, right? He is 5'9", if I'm not mistaken, right? I believe he has 21 wins, 16 knocks out. Look, let me stop guessing and stop playing with y'all like that. Let's go over some stats right quick. Okay, so Abraham Nova. Yep, 30 years old, 5'9", 72 inches, right? 23 wins, 16 knockouts, 1 loss. Then we got O'Shaquie Foster, just a half an inch shorter, right? Same arm reach, 21 wins, 12 knockouts, 2 losses. So this is a pretty even matchup, right? This is a pretty even matchup. It's going to be a hard fight for O'Shaquie Foster, but I feel like the burden of proof is on Abraham Nova. But that just goes to show you what type of heart he has. He's really trying to fight the best. He ain't talking about no other side of the street. He ain't talking about, I got to do this before I fight this tough opponent. No. He like, okay, let's go. Whoever you got. They offer him 3 names because he just had literally, I'm like, look, let me show you this. Look, this is his back-to-back fight. He fought Miguel Roman, right? I hope I don't butcher this last name. But Muhammad Kuja, okay, who was undefeated, right? He beat Ray Vargas, Eduardo, well, I call him Rocky, but Eduardo Hernandez, and now he's fighting Abraham Nova. So now you tell me, who has a better resume at 130? Well, Navarrete. I'll give him that. Navarrete does, right? But the 130-pound division is actually pretty lit. Let's go. Here. Yep, that's the fight for tomorrow. I can't wait. So here we got some rankings going on, right? So we got O'Shaquie Foster for the WBC. Lamont Roach, shout out to him for the WBA. Joseph Cordina, which is the fight I want to see. I want to see Joseph Cordina versus O'Shaquie Foster. But being that O'Shaquie Foster is on top rank, I think the next easiest fight for him to make will be with Emmanuel Navarrete. But that's probably not going to happen because Bob Everman's not going to want to lose Emmanuel Navarrete as a star, right? So let's see who we got in O'Shaquie's thing. We got him fighting Abraham Nova coming up, but these are the people that are ranked in the WBC, right? We got Jamel Herring, Jordan White, Kenichi Ogawa, Abraham Nova, Albert Bell, Jardia Herrera, Lee Wood, Oscar Valdez, Mark Magsayo, Michael Magnesia, Masanori, I don't know him, Shavkat, I don't know him. You know, Eduardo Hernandez, still number 3. Shout out to him, Robes and Consequio. And he and number 1, they got Yakubov. So my thing is this. The O'Shaquie Foster, the WBC rankings, he got all the smoke in the WBC rankings. All the smoke is there. So you know they're gonna make it. Don't be surprised if we don't see him with Robes and Consequio next. Right? I would like to see him fight Mark Magsayo, but he has other plans. What do y'all think about him wanting to go up to 147, not 135, not 140, 147 for that Conor Ben smoke? Don't tell me O'Shaquie Foster don't think like a champion. He's taking a fight with Abraham Nova, and then he's talking about jumping up 2 divisions to spank Conor Ben. O'Shaquie Foster would love to fight Conor Ben at 147 pounds. I'll spank him. Make it happen, Dazin. Make it happen. I think that will be a great fight. I would like to see that fight. I wonder how it will go. You understand? But here, like I said, it says, at the tail end of 2023, Eduardo Hernandez found himself well ahead on the cards in his showdown against Foster. Now, if you look at that fight, while Hernandez was more active and Foster was fighting off the back foot, Foster was leaning the harder, cleaner shots. They even made a comment saying that Hernandez's shots are not really landing that clean, and this female commentator who damn near peed on herself when they stopped the fight was talking about, yeah, but they're still landing. When he got hurt, and it was like a minute left in the round, when Rocky got hurt, she was talking about, yeah, but there's still a lot left, you know, there's still a lot of rounds left. She was so disappointed. But anyway, like I said, they had him up on the cards, and then, you know, y'all saw what happened after that. But O'Shaquie Foster, definitely a great fighter to watch. He does fight off the back foot a lot, right? But at the same time, he also takes risk. He takes risks. He's a very fan-friendly fighter. He's not the most popular fighter because they're not really pushing him like that. But I feel like with the Texas fan base, if Top Rank was to recognize the work that he's really putting in and promote him to the Texas fans, they'd adopt him. I think once he shows and prove with Abraham Nova, if he goes up to 147 and get that Conor Ben fight and beat Conor Ben, we gotta put him in. We gotta put him in category number 1 for standing up for Texas. He's going to be the elite Texas champion for me coming out of Texas. He put in the work. He's earned it. He hasn't lost a fight in 7 years. He's run into all of the smoke. His resume is fantastic. You understand? Out of all of the other champions, I think he might have the best resume. I would say, let me look at this right quick. Let me see something. I want to know what Navarrete resume is looking like, because Navarrete got some, man, I'm gonna have to be honest with you. I think Navarrete might have the better resume. He might have the better resume. But I don't think that Navarrete could beat O'Shaquie Foster. And I know a lot of people not gonna like to hear that, but I don't think he can. He's very orthodox, right? But I think that he has too many holes. But at the same time, every time I say that about Emmanuel Navarrete, he just becomes too big of a problem for his opponents to deal with. But I think that would be a great fight. But yeah, so I would have, now that I'm looking at this resume, yeah, I have to give the resume to Navarrete, right? He has the best resume at 130 pounds. But I think O'Shaquie Foster is right behind him. And if O'Shaquie Foster can beat Abraham Nova, right? And I would like to see, before he moves up to 147, him fight the other champions. I want to put him on a pound-for-pound list. But before I can put him on a pound-for-pound list, I need him to fight Navarrete or Joe Cordina. That's what I need to put him on a pound-for-pound list. Now, if he jumps up to fight Conor Ben, that'll be a good win. But if it's not going to make him a champion, I'm not going to put him on a pound-for-pound list. But if he fights Navarrete or if he fights Joe Cordina, I'll put him on a pound-for-pound list. I personally would like to see them hook it up where we get O'Shaquie Foster versus Joe Cordina and Lamont Roach versus Emmanuel Navarrete, right? So we can clean up the 130-pound division. And then the winners of those fights fight each other. That would be fantastic. That would be the best thing that could happen in boxing for the 130-pound division. But anyway, I'm not going to make this video long. I just wanted to come on here and tell Texas to get behind your boy O'Shaquie Foster. You understand what I'm saying? He's a dog. He put that work in. He's going in against Abraham Nova, the Puerto Rican by way of Albany, New York. Y'all get in the comment section. Let me know if y'all think O'Shaquie Foster is going to pull out the victory. What do y'all think about him going up to fight Conor Ben? Do you think O'Shaquie Foster can beat the other champions at 130? And if not, who beats him at 130? I thank you for taking the time to check out the content. As always, listen, guys, I got to go to a funeral in Virginia this weekend. So this is going to be my last video until I get back to Texas on Monday. You understand? So hit that like button for your boy. Share the video. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new, you don't got to agree with everything I say. All you got to do is do what I do and love the sport of boxing. You dig? Tough Glove Boxing. We out.
You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the hell up out of here.